Welcome to another Farmtown Misadventure episode with Charlie Many Layers and JJ. We will be giving tips on completing your co-op quest using just a few common sense things and things I recommend, and also tips on how to use glitches in the system. Because we're using video that's been shot over a month's time, apologize, but some of this will be a little bit choppy. Enjoy. One of the easiest tips for being able to complete your co-ops better is to have as many of your neighbors as you can which have co-ops and work co-ops on a regular basis. You can find them simply by setting your neighbor status table to co-op request, where your neighbors will be lined up according to who has the co-ops currently, starting with the highest level person down to the lowest level person. And you will show up at the end of the list, like I'm sitting right here. And so I have currently in this, I have 56 neighbors out of about 100 that happen to be currently with co-ops. Now, that number will go up and down because people finish co-ops and they don't start for another day or two, and so they don't have anything for a little while. But you should generally, if you have 50-something, you'll usually have a pretty good chance of filling most of your co-ops right from your exact neighbors. The other thing is I have a lot of friends, so that at any one time I may have possibly up to 300-400 who happen to be using co-ops at the time. So that gives me a wide choice of friends to choose as neighbors. But the more friends and neighbors you have, that's the more people that will be possibly looking at your post-its and filling them. I have probably 500 or more of my friends who have me as their neighbor. There's no limit as to how many people you can be a neighbor to. Now, the offside of that is if you have a large number of them, say 200 or 300 of them, and they're buying things from you, you have to take that into account as well. And I know some of my friends and neighbors will only have 1 or 2 co-ops oftentimes. But if you can have enough of an inventory of the basic things such as flowers, trees, crops, minerals, things of that nature, sure, and you can, in the long run, you'll come out probably ahead, because you'll have more people who, when you need that last post-it filled, more likely someone will be there to fill it. Okay, one of the things we see here is that this co-op quest is going to expire in 87 minutes. And if I'm not mistaken, it takes longer than that for this cucumber cup to be processed. So, but let's go look. And we do that by clicking on here. This will bring up the facility. Okay, you'll notice that it takes 3 hours. So in theory, even if we started it right now, it would not finish within 87 minutes. But in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start it, because I happen to know that if you get it started before it expires, so it shows it 3 hours. What will happen, what we're going to do is we're going to close this and we will not open it for at least 3 hours. Because if we were to open it up and it's got, say, an hour to go before it's finished and expired time is already hit, it would be expired. However, what we're going to do is we're going to close it and we'll just let it sit for a while and we'll come back later. Okay, we're back here about 12 hours later, and I'm going to go ahead and just click here and say, yeah, fine. There's that. Now we go back up here to where the co-ops are and click on there and come down to the third one, and it opens, and you will notice now it says that our cucumber cup is complete, and it has a check mark on it. So therefore, even though we started this with only 87 minutes or left on a 3-hour process, we were able to recover that, and we can click that down there. One thing that I do oftentimes when I am going to cash out at with only 4 co-ops, I will take and go to this facility, and I'm going to put it on pause so that I will not accidentally finish that quest. It is good for another 5 days. So this is a tip that would be considered taking advantage of a glitch in the system. What we're going to do is we have this new co-op quest that has 3 items, 3 ingredients in order to complete it. And I'm sure most of you have run across this, where you've got 2 Post-its, but you've got 3 places you got to put it. If you don't have enough neighbors, rather, to where you can go and possibly find bamboo. Bamboo is not an easy thing to find, despite the fact that we think of it as being fairly common. Aluminum ore, not quite as rare, and aluminum sheet. If you can find the aluminum ore, you can usually find the aluminum sheet. But to demonstrate this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those 2 Post-its, and first off I'm going to put one on here, okay, and then I'm going to put the other one right there. And what I intend to do is reuse one of those to fill for the aluminum sheet. Aluminum sheet, I got a 50% chance of finding it anyway, but we're going to try this and just to demonstrate this. So, what's that going to do? I'm going to take and leave that tab open right there, not move it. And I'm going to go and open up another tab so I can go do stuff. And so I'm going to come down here to play, and I'm going to click Control key down, and I open up a second tab, again to my Farmtown. Okay, now that it's open, I'm going to slide it up just a little bit, hopefully. Well, that's close enough. Okay? And we can go ahead and be doing other things. We can go through and check all of our neighbors to see if they do have the ingredients and if they have any co-ops that quests that need to have post-its on it. We can do that. Or we can just do whatever we were doing. We can do crops, plant trees, design, move from farm to farm, as long as we leave that first tab alone. Okay? Anyway, but just for kicks, I'm going to go over here and check it so I can show you a little, because before we go back to it, before we open it up again or view it, we will make sure that we already have those two items filled. And you'll notice, well, that's a different quest. Not so lucky. So we still have, one of them has already been filled. The other one hasn't. So just in that amount of time, because I have a lot of friends and neighbors, especially people that I am a neighbor to, or friends that I am a neighbor to, somebody went through and filled it. And in fact, if I close it and reopen it, I haven't stopped this recording. Okay, we're going to come up here and we're going to go down there. Nope, it's still being used, or still out there. But what I can do, and I think I will, is I'm going to go ahead and close here, because we do have that one filled. So now I can go here, back to the original one, and okay, see, they're still sitting there. Well, we know this one here has been filled. So I'm going to take it and just put it up here. Okay? And just for fun's sake, I'm going to put that one up there. So right now I have no post-its on there. And I'm going to close it and reopen it. Okay, here we are back with a little bit of fanfare. Okay, and we come down here and see, now we have the aluminum ore filled, but we don't have these two, but we do have two tabs or two post-its, so we can very just like okay, it's going to be stubborn on me, ain't it? Okay, because it thinks that something else is going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a clear mem cache. Okay? Okay, we're back. Now that I've got my bookmarks up here, I can come down here and do clear mem cache. And it does. And then I go back and I open up my farm again. And I open up my co-ops. Okay, there's the co-ops. Okay, and we're going down all the way down to the bottom one. Okay. Now, this is filled. And I know we can put one on there. Can we put one on here? Just like that. So now we have the two on there. And as you can see, it wouldn't allow us to do it before until after I ran and went and cleared memcache. Clear it. Now, however, it doesn't matter whether I leave it open or closed because I don't need any more Post-its. So it can be filled just as is. And I can go on over here and go to full screen now because I don't need another screen. And I will take and go check my neighbors' co-ops. And I'm looking just simply for whether or not they have Post-its of their own. But in order that I can fill those Post-its, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to go to my facilities, because this is another little trick, and I'm going to make sure that whatever has been produced has been stored into storage. So I'm going to click, because I do have the turbo tools, I don't have to go through and store, etc. Or cash out or store. You know, I don't have to do that. I just simply say store all. And it's going to take care of all of the non-workable facilities and all of the standard facilities like factories. It does not clear your clients, which is a shop. That one is this one. Now, it doesn't have to be cleared. The purpose of this is to have as many different products in your storage as what you can have without going to your friends and working post of theirs. And then we go to the very first one, and it really doesn't matter, but no sense letting anyone out. And left click. Yeah, hit the button. There, it works better. Wow. Anyway, and we're going to check Quest. Now, we're looking to see if anyone has Quest with Post-its on it. So I'm just going to simply go through here and click here, and that brings up the next one. And I don't see any Post-its on over here, so I can move on and so forth and so forth and so forth. Okay, here on the very first top one we have a Post-it, and okay, this is for some palm oil, I think that's what it says, and so we fill it and we continue on. We have found that we have one here with two co-ops that have Post-its on it, and we're going to attempt to fill both of them. So first off, we have to go from full screen down to other screen. And while we're here, we're going to go ahead and open up one more. And one spare, just in case we need it. Our next thing is we go over here and we go to that person. Okay, we found her. So we open that up, left click, and open to quests. And actually, as she's got one up there, I can go ahead and fill it right now. Okay, because the one we're literally looking at is this one. But I can't fill it yet because I want to take and be able to fill it, both of them. So we come up here and get rid of this guy. Doesn't matter whether it's online or offline. And go over here. To a left click, open, and we bring it down here. We don't have to have it all the way down here, but because it's simpler, we do. All you have to do is have that co-op open on that farm. Okay, well, we're here. Now let's see if we can fill these things. And I will go up here and try pancakes first. And that worked. So now I can go over to the other one. I don't have to close the one I did. If I was to try to do it again, it's going to tell me, well, it's not going to show it to me. It's not going to let me do it twice. If I can get this down here, okay, see, it tells me there that it's previously filled. And so I filled this one, and that is doing 2 co-ops or 2 post-its for the same person on the same co-op quest. In this section of the video, we will be completing a co-op quest that we have ready, and we'll be using a neighbor's facility in order to do that. This is possible by using a bug which the developers are familiar with and aware of. Some people use it, the bug, and some do not. The choice is yours. We see here that we have a co-op ready to be completed for Kansu. And so we click here, and you'll notice it does not load. The reason for this is we do not have that Thai restaurant that is needed. So therefore, we will go about borrowing a Thai restaurant from our neighbor. Here is the neighbor navigation table panel, and we just click on that particular neighbor, and we go up here and say visit that farm. And we're loading. And here we are. And you'll notice that we have a tool in our hand. That means that we are also a super neighbor for this particular neighbor. So first thing we need to do is take and click on the walking person, like so, and then we'll slide up here, and I'm going to grab the little green hand, green glove, so that when I go in I can pick up the facility that we need, which is the Thai restaurant. To find the Thai restaurant, we're going to click on the button, the search tool. Now this is normally in your external toolbox, located over here. And I'll click there. Now we type in Thai. And I will put an R there. I don't have to spell out the entire word or name of the restaurant. And here is our Thai restaurant. So and you'll notice it's up near the top. The reason for that is this way it can be moved to any farm that you might have, even a 12 by 12. Some of your neighbors will do this and some will not. You click it, you pick it up, you bring it over, and you put your mouse over your home button here, because you don't want to drop it. And click there, and we're going to go to the last farm where we were at, and we're back. And of course it's going to be right up in that area up there. Now we could go through and we could take and hide the trees, and we could hide the buildings, and we could hide the decorations. But we've already learned that we can use our search tool. So we're going to go up here and use this. Well, before I go there, I will go over here to the co-op again and show you. That when we click here, we still don't show a Thai restaurant. That's because the one that we just borrowed is a ghost or an image of your neighbor's facility, which is on your farm but not in your farm, if that makes any sense. It's not accessible by your co-ops, by your facility manager, etc. Okay, we did do the search, and here it is. Now, at this point, I do not have the green glove in my hand, and I click, and I open it, and you'll notice it says, wait, busy. So in a case like that, I will take and go to my preferences and turn everything off and then turn back on the regular facilities, which that is a regular facility, the Thai restaurant. And when I do this, of course, I'm going to have a whole lot of red here, but that's everything. It is hidden except for that Thai restaurant. And having hidden everything using the preferences, now I will click on here and see if we can open it. Still busy. Now that we've reloaded after turning everything off except for the regular facilities. Okay, we've located our neighbor. We click visit farm. And because we see the square, we know that we are a super neighbor. Click on the walking person. And we'll go up here. Okay, this is where the facilities are. And all these are arranged in a 12 by 12 area. And we need to borrow the Thai restaurant. We'll use the search tool, which I have shortcutted to here, and we come up and we type in Thai restaurant, Thai restaurant. We have everything hidden except for the regular facilities. And here is our Thai restaurant. Now I'm going to attempt to do this without using a glove, because some people will have them, some people will not. Tinsel is the same either way. And we bring it down and we click on the home button, and we're going back to where it was we was. And we're back there. And you'll notice we're there now. And here's the Thai restaurant. So we don't need to click on the walking person when borrowing or ghosting a facility from our neighbor. So I click on it and click on open, and it opens, and we want to start one here. And you see that it has started, and we can close it there, and then we go over here and click on the co-op, and you see that this will be ready in 2 hours. And while we're here, we see that this blue button is lit up when my mouse isn't over it. So I click on it, and you'll notice it brings up that we have one co-op completed 1 day ago, and that was a product. I can't read it, I'm sorry. And we can see here on the bottom panel that was credited on Thursday. This is Friday. So that sounds right. So then we can take and close that. And that's how you borrow a facility from a neighbor. Remember, you will probably need to take and go to your preferences and hide everything other than the type of facility that you're working or looking for, whether it's a service or a client facility or whether it's a regular facility. That much you'll need to know ahead of time. You do not need to return that because in reality it never left your neighbor, just the image of it. I hope you found this video informative, and the hints and tips I gave are strictly for you to use or not to use on your choice. I know that some of these things can probably be done different ways, but this is just one way that I do them. If you have comments or questions, don't hesitate to ask. Have a great day, and thank you.